There's a lot of everything in Sulfur, whether we're talking weapons, loot, consumables, just the works, enchantments. There's so many things that you have to keep track of and learn when you're playing Sulfur. And enemies are no different, because with 8 different areas that all feature at least one unique enemy inside of them, it gets crazy really fast, and trying to figure out how to beat something on the fly can even be more difficult. I'd like to go over every single enemy that's in Sulfur and then give you a few quick tips on how you should be fighting them, as well as talk about my feelings. I have a hard time not talking about my opinions, and some of these guys can be really annoying. Even with 500 hours, you're like, screw you, douche. We're in the DevTools mode. We launch that way. We live that way. I'm going to turn that off if you're curious. Some people are going to be curious. They're going to be like, hey, why is there a goblin in my church hub? It's because I put him there. Because I figured this would be the easiest way to really go through and talk about them real quick. We can even turn the DevTools on and see the faction that they're in and their name. To avoid any spoilers for people that don't want to see it all the way ahead, I started with the caves. I should have started the video saying I'm going to do that because some people probably clicked off and been like, I don't want to know how to fight people in whatever fortress is. What the hell's a Shav'Wa? Early on in caves, this guy's probably going to be the first dude to really pose a challenge to you unless you get unlucky and you run into the android. But let's wait to talk about the android because we're already talking about the archer. Something you should know about any projectile enemies in this game is once they start shooting, they have to finish their shot. So wait it out. Once you hear them start to shoot, say it's an assault rifle, wait behind some cover and then jump out and fight them. Don't just stand there and eat the shots, or at least strafe or something. It's the same thing with him. You'll hear his bow pull back, and then you jump out and blast him in his cute little tunic, his cute little green tunic. He is kind of adorable. The goblins are cute, all right? Let's be real. The barrel boy is not super hard to understand. As you can see, his fit is a bunch of barrels, and they're made of wood. So naturally, let's get rid of those pieces of wood. Did I say a bunch of barrels? Planks. He's got a bunch of planks on him. You can use a melee weapon to break them off really quickly, and then bounce back. He's got a kind of a time jump, so you have a moment to react. He doesn't do anything other than try to jump on you. And with the size of this guy, you're going to want a different goblin to sit on your face. Break the planks, make him vulnerable, and then shoot him. You can also just shoot him right in the face right there. He's got an opening. Next up, we got the spear goblin. He's going to try to rush at you with his spear. You'll have a long time to react to him as well, as he kind of like pulls back and jumps at you. The caves guys aren't super complicated, honestly. They're very simplistic enemies to fight. Some of them are more annoying than others. Like the little freak baby goblin. He can be really annoying if there's multiple of them. Say you get rushed by 6 or 7, you're going to want to back up, give them some space. Even if you're confident in your shots, a whole group of these buggers slapping you at once is going to feel like a late round in COD Zombies, and you don't want that, even though this game does feel a lot like COD Zombies. Once you're at a safe distance, you can get a good shot on them. They don't have a lot of health. They fall really easily. I could cheat even more and show you the straight up health. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. I thought it looked cleaner without the health, but we're learning as we go along. Do you want to know? This guy's 130. This guy's 800. I guess it's a enemy breakdown. We should know. I just spoiled those guys. Don't look at me like that. This guy's 180. Okay, so yeah, naturally the archer is going to have a little bit less health because he's not in there tanking shots. And this guy, wow, very tanky. And then 80. So the health is considerably lower. Let's just keep their name up there. His name is Young, one half of a SoundCloud rapper name. And then the next guy is a civilian, apparently. I don't see him like that. I call him the Shrieker because once you attack him, he starts yelling and running off in the distance, which is funny to see, but he'll bring back his homies. So if you're gonna kill this guy, make sure you do that. Like, don't sleep on this dude. He can bring in a whole lot of problems. Him by himself, kind of a little bitch. With 100 health. Only 2,000? Yikes. Before I decided to show the health, which I should have just done in the first place. I had them all grouped up cool. They looked really neat like that. What we need to do right now is talk about what is arguably the toughest enemy outside of Cousin in caves. If you want me to do a boss breakdown, you gotta tell me. I'm not here for that today. I'm here for the standard enemies. Don't sleep on the wizard goblins just because you're in caves. These guys are pretty tough at any point. You're dealing with 4 different elements in electricity, fire, poison, and frost. And these guys will keep shooting. They don't have to reload because they're not using a bow and arrow or a gun, so they're just going to keep blasting at you until you leave their line of sight. Make sure to prioritize them when you find them, and do not just stand out in the open. Take care of them quickly before they take care of you. There's a certain individual that some people might run into as early as caves, and I didn't know that at first, and then I found out just shortly after. Plenty of people told me their stories of running into the Enforcer, who is part of the Adrian. faction. You could call him the Enforcer. I'm gonna call him the Android. That's what most people do. Android robot. That's when you see the complaints piling up on Reddit is, why was I attacked by robots? When was this update added? Stuff like that. There's a lot of theories about what these guys are here for, and I think the most plausible one is they're from a future area. I think we're getting small little hints here and there with like the drop pods and seeing them in general, the robot parts, all this stuff. I don't know what their plans are, but I think there is more to these people. Robots. Beings. I don't know who not to upset here. They're robots, but they look like dudes. So when you're fighting Mr. ChatGPT, once again, he's gonna keep shooting at you. Be really careful. He's got a lot of health for just a random enemy. You can break their masks like humans, but they won't be scared when you do so. So if you're gonna fight them, shoot them quickly, kill them quickly, or just teleport out. If you weren't ready for it, it's a brand new run. You just have the Dirk and you don't feel confident in your ability to miss their shots. You can always just run past them and try to get to the end of the level that you're in. There's many ways to avoid fights in this game, but if you want to fight them, I would bring something decently strong, because they did. Almost forgot about two lovable enemies that you can sometimes run into while you're in caves, and that would be the ghosts and the skeleton. Unfortunately, the skeleton is not in dev kit for some reason. There's something else there that I think is accidentally taking the place of it, but to avoid every possible spoiler, I'm not going to say what it is. Just so you know, in dev kit, you can find some spoilers. Be very careful if you don't want that sort of thing. And it's not because I spelled skeleton wrong, okay? I just like to say skeleton so much that I can barely say skeleton. It just doesn't even sound right no matter what. It's a skeleton. The ghost has 250 health. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off because it's like blocking her face. It feels rude. Her face, his face, I don't know. Man, woman, or child, this dude sure is a bitch. And it can really catch you off guard if you've been kiting a lot of enemies and all of a sudden you're getting the ghost sucked from behind you, which slows you down. That could be enough to kill you. Luckily, the game warns you when this specter could be floating around. You get a wipe across your screen, and then they show up. Then they get you. They're also in forest. There's a big area in forest. It's called the graveyard, cemetery, whatever you want to call it. I know I said I was doing caves first to avoid spoilers. But we don't need to talk about homeboy here twice. You could find a graveyard in forest that will have like 30 of them, and it could be really fun to play through. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the graveyard aspect of forest and shooting a bunch of them. It's a cool little challenge. I wish we had more Easter egg type areas like that in Sulfur because it works really well. Moving on to town, I'm gonna start with the more rare spawns that you don't often see, but they can occur, like the moped guy. I said I would put their names up. The assassin. I always call him the moped. It seems like he's riding around on a moped. He can be really tricky, especially if you weren't expecting him in town. You were expecting him in a later level, like dungeon. There's the spoilers. If you weren't expecting him, he can be really tricky to fight against because he's really fast and he'll lunge at you and do a whole lot of damage when he does with 300 health. And if you break his mask, he doesn't go into a crying state and he'll just keep attacking you. He's another enemy you're going to want to prioritize in the middle of a fight. Try to aim good. Like with all of them, but especially him, because you got a moving target. Don't let him hit you. Once he starts that lunge, start jumping or strafing. Get out of his way, no matter what's going on. Next up, you got the bishop or cardinal, whatever you want to call him. This dude is a contender for being one of the toughest enemies in the entire game, with his Gatling gun absolutely shredding your health. Just like any other projectile enemy, don't get hit by that thing, and if you know it's coming, step out of the way, take some cover, because he's very, very slow moving. You have a lot of time to take cover with the charge up of that Gatling gun anyways. He's basically a reminder not to do stupid shit, because if you do anything stupid, he will absolutely punish you. He's tough. I would put him in, like, if we were ranking them, he's very high up just because of the sheer amount of damage he can do. But with the slowness that he's got, just take him down really quickly and he can't hurt you anymore, baby. Now we're looking at the straight up chump when it comes to town. One of the more easy enemies to take down, but they will clump up into groups just like the goblin babies. If they do group up on you and they get too close before you can get enough shots on them, consider meleeing them, because they can't shoot you and you might be able to break their mask and stop them from attacking you, and you could even break a couple all at once if you're lucky. Unlike the more tougher enemies that we just talked about, if their mask breaks, they go into a crying state and some other enemies will start to attack them over you as long as you're not too close. If you're too close to them, the enemies will retain aggro on you, so don't just look at that as a get out of jail free card. Use it strategically. You don't even really have to kill them once you knock the mask off. You could just leave them there and let somebody else deal with it. Other than that, they're very easy to kill. Just aim for their body if you don't want to break their mask. I would recommend just breaking their mask, even bringing something strong enough to shoot them right there, and like the throat right below the mask should kill them. Relatively easy. They only have 200 health, which isn't bad, but also really easy to manage. For a long time, people were complaining about a certain enemy being way too broken and OP, and they hated fighting them, but the whole time I was sitting there like, why aren't they saying the rifleman? This guy can absolutely fuck in the shooting you in the face department. You need to have clothes with a decent amount of movement speed to be able to avoid his shots, because like a standard loadout, it's going to be really tough to not get hit by his assault rifle in the open. Most of the time when you're wearing shoes in this game, you do look for the movement speed increase anyways, so you should have them ready. Just strafe on him and shoot him, or go into cover and then pop out. I think strafing might be a little bit easier with him because he's very quick to react, unlike the goblin archer. Be careful with him. Do not let your guard down, except that you're probably going to take a couple of hits, but you can melt him relatively quick. Hey, it's another guy you could have seen in caves, the Phantom of the Opera guy, or the Tracker, whatever you want to call him. Once again, at 200 health, this guy has got a sniper rifle, but if you break the mask, he will cry. I should mention, in one of the more recent patches, they made it so all of the humans can spawn in caves. It's a much lower chance, but you could find like their little flag set down, almost like they invaded caves as well. That wasn't in there in the early games, and that's kind of why I forgot to throw them in there. It's also a little messy. Their home is basically town. They're just invading caves. You know what I mean? This guy is much more similar to the goblin archer in that you can hear when he's about to snipe you, so you have a lot more time to react. Fight him like you would the goblin archer and you'll be okay, but also take into consideration that you can break the mask, like I said. I was going to talk about him, which is a really bad spot to put him in. He's also not showing his health. There he goes. I also forgot about you. I mean, I don't know if I was clever enough. Obviously, they're all in the same spot. Oh, God, now that one's over there. I fixed it, see? Okay. This is so scuffed. But we're having fun. We're talking. We're yapping. And I edited it, so the guys that complain about that, you can't do that this time. This is the Sapper, another enemy. If you break their mask, they won't cry. They'll keep attacking. Although they don't really attack, they just drop proximity mines that only hurt you. They won't hurt any other enemies. If you don't deal with them when you see them, they will follow you and keep dropping mines along the way. So if at any point you backtrack, you could be in some serious trouble. Most of the time, it's just best to kill them, especially if you don't have a strong enough kit that will stop them if they keep approaching you, because if you approach them, they will back off. They're gonna try to back away, but as soon as your back is turned, you're doing something else, that's when they start creeping on you. Them mines can do a lot of damage, and they have 600 health, so they're a very tanky enemy that you have to deal with. Once you get a bit stronger, you'll probably find yourself avoiding them most of the time. The last enemy you might have seen in caves would be the dog. You can consider them a faster, maybe a bit scarier version of the goblin babies. They have more health, obviously a whole 100 more than the goblin babies had. And with their speed, you have to react quickly and put them down, for lack of better words. Sorry, I mean, that's a terrible thing that I said, that I don't have to put in here, but I'm doing it anyways. Put them down quickly, and it won't be that hard to prioritize them, because them and the moped dudes are going to be the first ones in your face, because they're just faster than everyone else. The one-shot potential from a shotgun is great, especially because they're already going to be in your face from charging you. I would recommend using a shotgun against pretty much any enemy. Shotguns and assault rifles in this game are very, very good. Wait, what do we got next? Sewers? Ew. Oh, wait, the humans. Oh, my God. A few patches ago, they made it when you killed a chicken, they would drop an item. You can also find chickens in caves, but they're not enemies. You don't have to kill them. The real enemies of Sulfur, though, are people like her. She's awful. 40 health, though. Quick kill. And him, even worse. 50 health? What do you brag? What is that? What kind of hat are you wearing that makes you 10 health stronger than that chick? I mean, they're both conspirator terrorists. I don't trust either of them. I don't know what they do, to be honest, after 500 hours, but look at this guy. He's ready to slap iron and duel, man. I don't trust that. Look at that stance. And then the worst of the worst, man. You don't put a kid in the game, it's straight up called kid, if they're not, they did something real bad. That's some Omen level shit. Probably like lit a whole bunch of cats on fire, if you need an excuse, other than they won't get out of the way. Take note, in Sewers, you will still be fighting humans in Sewers 1, but also 2 through 4 have a very high chance of spawning some additional ones. There's a lot of infighting going on down there. I think they've invaded not only the caves, but also the sewers. The fucking colonizers, man. Sewers is a mucky, dirty, crappy little shithole that that used to be really bad. To be honest, they made sewers a lot better when they fixed the spawn rates, and there was like a bug where if you threw a grenade, all the enemies would rush you on the map, and it was especially affecting sewers. I don't even think it was just a grenade. It must have been explosive barrels too, because if you're like me, if I'm walking past an explosive barrel, I stab it. Naturally. The gooped up version of the archer is exactly the same as the normal archer with a little bit more health. Fight him exactly as you would the normal archer. Don't be too intimidated, because he's got extra eyeballs. I've never even heard anybody feel threatened by that. That's weird of you. Same situation goes for the goblin spearman, so much so that I'm not going to even talk about it. It's the same thing, but he's corrupted. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you could run into the spearman and the archer in goopy form inside a forest as well, so take that note down right now. I don't want you to forget about that and think I didn't remember, because it's your fault if you don't write it down. You're writing all this down, right? There's a big test at the end of the year. Once we go into 1.0, I'm quizzing all of you. This little frog freak thing apparently is called a lurk. I didn't even know that, so it's good that we know that now, but we all just consider it a shitty little frog. They'll hide in the water and start bubbling up when they're going to lunge at you. They don't do an incredible amount of damage, but they can group up under the water, and if you're swimming around in sewers, which is not really a healthy thing to do, but this game sometimes encourages it for you to progress through sewers, or if you're like me, you're just down there foraging for rings and coins. It's to each his own. They will swim towards you, and it actually looks really cool, and they're one of the more interesting enemies that have been added to the game. I absolutely love the little frog dudes. They sure scared the shit out of me when they first added them to the game. It seems like they are adding more jump scare enemies as we go along, and it can be really scary, you guys. Don't get too scared, though, because they are pretty cute. 120 health. Very easy to take down. Some of them will have, like, a poison trail, though, when they come up, and they'll hop back in, and they'll just ploop little poison down behind them. Be careful of those. You don't step in the poison, dumbass. In fact, the corrupted enemies can't be poisoned. Anybody with the goop can't be poisoned. Take a look at these two pictures and tell me what the difference is. That's right, they're the same picture. But there is a small difference. I'm not sure how this happened, and I hope there's a rework to the way these guys look eventually, because I don't especially love this as far as the design of the game goes. One of these guys is going to smack you around like you owe him money, while the other one's going to throw poop at you, so good luck differentiating who it is before they start slapping or pooping. The ranged version won't have to reload, so they will keep slinging at you until you kill them or they kill you. I hope you get them, bud. As far as the slapper goes, treat him like you would the bruiser, but this time he's got twice as much health, so don't let him get too close. He's a naughty little minx. Look at this. I can't believe they... I mean, just put like a patch on one of them or something. Just something that would make it a little bit easier. I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be more challenging that way, but I also think it might have been an afterthought. To me, I don't like that idea. I think every enemy should have their own personality and wardrobe. I don't know. Is that... Who agrees with me? This guy should look different. You're fine. You... I don't know, maybe have like a sack or something. Like a sack full of shit right there. Whoa. What's up, bud? Fun fact, ghosts can spawn anywhere in the game that isn't a boss room or hedge maze. In hedge maze, you'll fight only one type of enemy, that's the trash people, also known as the amalgamations. Corrupted amalgamations, I should say. You might be wondering why there's a health bar there. That's because you can actually kill them with enough time and ammo and patience and just being overall as stupid as me. If you're as dumb as me, you could definitely kill them. In fact, I've done it before. If you want to see me do it again, you should watch my video, or maybe I'll just throw the clip in. I don't know. I probably did. Well, I might be lazy.
No more heroes, it's hero, be hero, catch on nobody but yourselves, nothing less to do. No more heroes, no time to stand still if you're gonna be number one.
Travis, it's kill or be killed.
The first time you go through Hedge Maze, they're an absolute nightmare to fight because you want to kill them. That's how it works, right? You're in Hedge Maze, everything must die. You're probably not going to do that. That's just not in the books for you. Your first time through Hedge Maze, you weren't expecting to be scared by these dudes. You can knock them out by popping out all their eyeballs, but they will spring back up. Just be weary of that. These guys are tough. They're very fast, and they will keep following you around Hedge Maze because you're stealing their stuff. I mean, that's on you a little bit. Even if you didn't loot, they still will chase you. They're very creepy, and I would love some additional lore on them. If there is some, I haven't found it, and I also haven't looked for it. No. There's no excuse. As far as castle and dungeon goes, you're going to be fighting all the humans I already showed you that can spawn in town or caves and sewers. Man, like I said, there's humans just about everywhere. But there is one enemy that could spawn as a mini boss at the end of dungeon. Again, we're not talking bosses right now. Back to what I was saying though, there is one enemy that will start spawning all throughout Castle 1 and 2. This dude right here. The Novanian Guard, which I just call the Mace Knight. Also, does his hand looks like a penis almost, right? Kind of, you know, with the line. What am I going on about? His tattoo's cool. Oh, it's not a tattoo, it's a scar. Poor guy. I'm not here to necessarily roast the design choices in this game. In fact, you know at this point I love this game, but I do not like the way you have to fight this guy. The only way to kill him is to knock the helmet off and then shoot his big bright head. But you get blinded when you do attack that big bright head, and the only way to counter that is to wear some glasses. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think you should have to have a specific item to fight an enemy that's common in Castle. Sure, he's just a mini boss in dungeon, but throughout Castle you have to fight him multiple times if you're trying to clear the whole area and you're looting and everything. I just don't love the design of him. Don't let him hit you with the mace ball. He's got a long charge up before he throws it, and once you do enough damage to his big shiny brain or head or whatever the hell that is, the star underneath his helmet, he will stop attacking. He'll get down on his knees and then explode. So don't stand too close to him when he explodes either. That's a stupid idea too. I think Forest is a good example of how to make enemies that are fun to fight but also really unique and challenging. Starting with the Hulk himself, we have the Abomination. This freak of a chicken beast is going to launch multiple different kinds of attacks at you. Don't let him hug you up close. Don't let him hug you from afar, because he can send out shockwave rings that will just blast your health down to nothing. He's got a lot of health at 1600 and is going to take multiple shots from most guns at any range, unless you built yourself some dope ass one-shot sniper, and if you did, I'm very proud of you. I like to call these guys the Batman birds, because once they're attacked, they're going to raise their arms and they have a shield as their wing or something. I don't know. They don't take any damage once they have their shield in their face. They can be really tough to fight against. An enemy that you're definitely going to want a one-shot kill gun so that you don't have to get into that second phase. If you do start that next phase, they can lunge through the air at you and then land on you doing another attack. They're very difficult to fight against. If you really don't like fighting them, build a one-shot sniper rifle or a shotgun and deal with them quickly and effectively. The Hulk Abominations and Batman birds can also hide in trees and then jump out and scare the shit out of you. There'll be 3 Batman birds instead of just the one, and it becomes very stressful very quickly. So if a tree falls, get some distance before checking on what just happened. Believe it or not, this is my pick for the most annoying enemy in the game. That is the Watcher, or as I just call them, a bird. They're annoying because they come from above you, and with an Overwatch background, I don't know how to look up. Their hitboxes are very small, so it is encouraged to bring an automatic weapon like a Ploika or even a shotgun that's got a wide spread to hopefully take them down one shot before they can do some damage. You also have least resistance, which could just guarantee that you hit them. So whatever you want to do, make sure to bring something to specifically take them down. They're very annoying. Now for the final area, which is Fortress. Remember, I'm not doing bosses. If you want a boss video, you have to specifically request it, or if this video is something you guys enjoyed, I might just do it anyways, because I love yapping about Sulfur. This little Eggman was very confusing the first time I fought him, because he opened up his jacket and showed like a gold button. I still don't know what the hell that is by any means. Is it supposed to be once his jacket is closed, he's got like a shield there and that's why he could take shots? Basically, you only want to shoot this dude once his jacket is open, his body is exposed. We'll get to some more exposings soon, very soon, when we reach the best enemy in the game. You already know, y'all know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But not a very tough enemy to fight. You just have to have patience and wait for the egg to do something. Just do something. The Grenadier has 6 tits and 400 health, and he can also like jump around and throw exploding knives at you, but they got 6 tits, man. That is 6 titties. I mean, I was curious for a long time. I haven't been in dev kit in forever, but look at that. It's undeniable. There's no way this is getting monetized. Thanks a lot. When you're fighting them, be careful. They move very quickly, and those explosive knives, while easy to dodge, will stay and do like a big explosion, shake your screen, and do a lot of damage to you if you do get hit by them. Your main concern is always going to be trying to shoot them as they move around very fast. Here we got Mr. Ghost Dog himself. This is the Forrest Whitaker-inspired enemy known as the Samurai. He's going to come at you with some melee swings, and then once he finishes uses his melee attacks, he will back up and try to blast you. Having two different stances makes them a very interesting enemy to fight against, but they also don't have any defense, so you could just shoot them dead at any moment. Like, it's very simple. In Fortress, the lurks aren't goopy and they don't wait underneath the water. They're just gonna hop at you. They're still very cute and I still like them. They can be difficult to hit because, once again, a very small hitbox and also probably too much health. 300 is crazy. It always has felt like they take forever to take down. That makes a lot more sense now. At the same time, we're in Fortress, which is the final area currently in the game. At this moment that I am speaking, I sound like a YouTube video for 2012. Respect the space between you and them as you would with the baby goblins, because if enough of them group up, they could be a pain in the ass to fight, and they're usually with some of their Fortress buddies. In fact, in any area, once you go along, a lot of different types of enemies will group together. In sewers especially, having 4 or 5 different enemies all doing range attacks to you at once can be overwhelming and straight up annoying sometimes. We're talking about Fortress right now, which is home to the baby frog, and the baby frog is just like the baby goblin. Shoot him. Shoot the babies. In game. I feel like I have to say that in every freaking video, man. I don't even really need to show you this next guy, as you already know. There on my king. It's the GOAT, baby. We got the twerker. This enemy, y'all know him, y'all love him. A very welcome change with the butt plug on the top of his head is the twerker, who will show you his butt. He won't do any damage to you, but he will charm the shit out of you, which is great. The difference between the twerker and the face knight is you can keep your distance on them and kill them from afar without having to worry about being charmed. That's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to shoot them before they get too close to you, unless you want to see the butt cheeks, then kill everything around them, and then enjoy the show, buddy. All right, because we all need a break once in a while. We're in the afterlife. It's already been tough enough on us. All right, we don't have to kill everybody, especially a handsome young chap like this. Let me get in there. Oh, does he have like a single bit of... Oh, no, he's got a bunch of sweat. Well, he's at the bathhouse. It might not be sweat. But there you have it. There's every single enemy in Sulfur with some tips and tricks on how to fight them. If I didn't go in depth on a specific character that you may have thought, hey, I wanted to know what this is that they do, or you just think I didn't do a good job describing them, fair enough. This was totally off the cuff and I could have missed something. Let me know in the comments and I will respond to you, or perhaps someone else will respond to you. There's also a Discord server, the TMU, where you could drop your Qs and I'll have some A's for you in there as well. So if you have any video recommendations, let me know. Only after I let you know how much I care about those dang members. I care so much that I feel the need to thank them at the end of every video for throwing a little bit extra support to my family and I every month. You guys are amazing. You don't have to do that, but you do it anyways. There's their names. I love them all. You're great people. Whew. I am completely out of words and energy drink, and you're out of patience. You've been waiting for this video to end since I said that's every single enemy in Sulfur. Most people clicked off, but not you. You are the one who stayed around to listen to my ramblings and possibly see some recommended videos. And by possibly, I mean most assuredly. This is your chance to go click one of those videos. That's why I ranted at the end. I give you a chance to leave. I'm out of water too.